What's up, guys? Back with another trade recap. So today we started off in red, but we ended in green. All right, let me show you how we did it and what we were looking at. So starting off with the bias that I sent out earlier inside of the Discord right here, this is exactly what we were looking for. We were looking for a manipulation higher above this little high that you see my cursor is on. And essentially I was looking for the market to come and take these liquidity points right here, this Asian low. Now, honestly, I didn't think we would reach this previous day low. I thought Asian lows would give us enough fuel to take us higher, targeting these highs above us, but you're gonna see what happened. All right, so that was the initial bias, manipulation higher for us to come lower, take out this liquidity and maybe this liquidity if we do, and then for us to get our entry and go higher. All right, so here's exactly what happened and here's how the charts played out. So the first initial L that I took was up here trying to take this market lower. Now I want to talk about this setup just a little bit. Go down here to the 1 minute time frame, and you see as the market opened, we got the exact manipulation that we were looking for, right? We got the manipulation of that high and we traded into those leftover imbalances to the left. The problem with this trade here is the manipulation itself. All right, so my bias was strong enough that I still wanted to execute this trade, which is why I did. But my stop loss for this trade was not the best. So usually my stop loss is above the manipulation itself, but since there's no structure inside of this manipulation, we don't have our lower time frame structure unless you're trading the seconds time frames, which I don't. So I wasn't actually able to see the structure and take a trade from the actual manipulation. Okay, so we ended up taking it after this displacement candle right here that invalidated this small bullish imbalances of the pre-market. I believe the highest time frame was a 3 minute, which was right here. Yep, which was a 3 minute. And don't get me wrong, this is not like a terrible trade, but it's not like my A+ setup that I look for. But so our entry was right here after this closure. Our stop loss was above this wick, which was right here. So I didn't want this much of a stop loss. Okay, so our stop loss was like right here above this wick of this displacement candle, and you guys can see we got wicked out and the market ended up giving the move. So the target was to target this Asian low, which that's what I was targeting because that was where my bias was, and you guys can see that played out exactly. We got the manipulation higher and we go lower to target this low. Now, according to my bias, I was expecting the market to reverse from here, but we did not. All right, we just pushed very, very heavily through this. And one disclaimer, guys, there is a lot of war news going on. There's a lot of economic things going on, right? So some of these moves that we are expecting could get just destroyed within minutes of a tweet or something like this. So I'm saying that to say be careful. If you're new and you don't know what you're doing in these markets, this is not the best time to play around. All right, so it's the best time to adapt and learn how to trade these type of conditions. But if you don't know what you're doing, don't play around. All right, you could lose a lot of money playing around. Okay, so we got that major sell to the downside, which, like I said, after this, I kind of was done for the day. I wasn't expecting us to really get anything else. So I was really just gonna take my L for the day and step off the charts. But I got an alert that we reached previous day lows. So I was looking for one condition under here, which was a strong recovery at these lows. Okay. I was looking for a strong recovery at these lows, which we did get. Coincidentally, we got that on the same 3 minute time frame here. So as we swept this low right here, as we swept this low, we see we have this nice displacement candle that inverses two gaps. We have one gap right here and we have another gap right here. So once I seen this, I knew that this was our reversal point. This was the entry that I was looking for. We were sweeping liquidity. We had liquidity to target in our direction, leaving over these London highs, and we had intermediate highs that we created as well. This high right here was a 15-minute intermediate high, and then this high as well was trading into some imbalances. So these were just leftover liquidity. So because these were here, that's another reason why I was even willing to take this trade, because of this high right here that was sitting up there. You see that wick. So that was a nice point of liquidity for us to target if we did get this reversal, okay, which we did. and that was the second trade that made up for that, you know, loss earlier this morning. All right, so those were my 2 trades of the day. Let me know which you guys took. If you took the short, if you only took the long, did you sit out for the day? I know a lot of people sat out for the day because of everything that Trump is talking about. So just let me know, are you currently sitting out of these markets right now, or are you being very, very, very selective? All right, so that's my trade recap. I'm glad that we ended the day off in profit. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, if you have any suggestions, right? If you're not inside of Discord, join the free Discord. There's a free link down and below. You'll see the invite for you to join, and you can start chatting up with us in there and chat up with me, ask me questions about whatever you need. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.